The opening of the holy doors begins the Jubilee every 25 years.
Tomorrow night at the Vatican is more than the traditional Christmas Eve Mass with the Holy Father.
At 88, Pope Francis has shocked the world with his explosive words about Princess Diana's life and tragic death. His unexpected statements have sparked fiery debates, questioning the truth behind her final moments. For decades, whispers of hidden truths and untold stories about Diana's fate have gripped the public. But now the Pope has added fuel to the fire. Could his words uncover long-hidden truths about the night of her fatal crash? Let us uncover what Pope Francis revealed that is causing people across the UK to demand the resignation of the king. A bond built on compassion. Pope Francis, known for his empathetic leadership, has a deeply personal history tied to Diana's legacy. Long before he became the head of the Catholic Church, he carried a quiet admiration for the princess, who defied tradition to embrace humanitarian causes. Her tragic death in August 1997 left a mark on him, though he never publicly voiced his grief. Friends of the Pope recall how Diana's courage and compassion resonated with his own ideals of service and love for the marginalized. Her efforts to fight social injustices, such as advocating for HIV awareness and campaigning against landmines, mirrored the Pope's lifelong mission to support the voiceless and forgotten. Before we delve into this, it's clear that the connection between Pope Francis and Diana runs deeper than anyone ever suspected, and this won't be the only revelation to leave you stunned. When news broke of her death, the Pope, then a priest in Argentina, reportedly sank into a period of deep reflection. The circumstances surrounding the crash, from paparazzi chasing her vehicle to the strange involvement of a white Fiat Uno, triggered questions he couldn't ignore. Though the official reports blamed reckless driving and excessive speed, whispers of conspiracies began to grow. Claims of staged accidents, intelligence plots, and royal cover-ups turned her death into a global obsession. While Pope Francis has never publicly endorsed these theories, those close to him suggest he felt a profound sense of injustice over the way her life ended. In private, the Pope has often drawn parallels between her struggles and his vision for a compassionate church. Both faced resistance for challenging rigid systems, she for breaking royal protocols, and Francis for pushing against traditional church norms. Her story seemed to serve as a reminder of the costs of empathy and courage in an unforgiving world. The Pope's sorrow over her passing often surfaced when he counseled grieving individuals. He spoke of her kindness as an example of how even the most privileged can suffer from loneliness and betrayal, urging others to find strength in love and service. For decades, Pope Francis kept his feelings about her private, focusing on his duties within the church. However, his recent decision to address lingering rumors has caught many by surprise. Speaking indirectly through confidants, he has expressed frustration over how conspiracy theories have overshadowed her humanitarian achievements. Her legacy, he believes, should not be tainted by unproven allegations or sensational stories. Yet, his comments have only added fuel to the fire, with some interpreting his words as hints of deeper knowledge about her death. One of the most persistent theories involves the strange white Fiat Uno reportedly seen near her car during the crash. Witnesses claim to have spotted the small vehicle in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel, and traces of white paint were found on her black Mercedes. Despite exhaustive investigations, the identity of the Fiat's driver remains unknown, fueling suspicions of foul play. The Pope's alleged interest in these details has led some to wonder if he knows more than he lets on. While he has refrained from making direct accusations, his acknowledgement of these unanswered questions has reignited debates worldwide. Adding to the intrigue are her letters to her butler, Paul Burrell, in which she expressed fears of a plot against her life. She described scenarios involving brake failure and severe head injuries, eerily similar to the events that unfolded in the Paris tunnel. These letters, once dismissed as paranoid musings, have gained new significance in light of the Pope's remarks. His apparent concern for the unresolved aspects of her death reflects his broader commitment to seeking truth and justice even in the face of controversy. Despite his willingness to engage with these sensitive topics, Pope Francis has emphasized the need to focus on her positive legacy. He has repeatedly highlighted her compassion for the sick, the poor, and the marginalized, qualities that resonate deeply with his papal mission. By advocating for refugees, championing social justice, and addressing global inequalities, the Pope continues to embody the values she represented. Her life, he argues, should inspire collective efforts to build a more empathetic and inclusive world. Critics, however, view the Pope's statements with skepticism. Some argue that his refusal to dismiss conspiracy theories outright leaves room for continued speculation. Others believe his measured words reflect an attempt to balance respect for her memory with the Church's stance against unfounded rumors. Either way, his involvement in this decades-old controversy has sparked renewed interest in her story, drawing attention away from the official findings and toward unresolved questions. The Pope often thought about Diana's tragic death and how the questions about her final moments, when humanity lost to headlines. As the debates rage on, Pope Francis's remarks serve as a reminder of the enduring power of her legacy. Her commitment to humanitarian causes and her ability to connect with people from all walks of life remain a source of inspiration. Yet, the unanswered questions surrounding her death continue to cast a shadow over her story. Whether the Pope's words will help bring closure or further fuel speculation is uncertain. What is clear, however, is that her impact on the world and on Pope Francis himself cannot be understated. Back in the late 1990s, Pope Francis, still a priest in Buenos Aires, observed from afar the unrelenting media frenzy surrounding the tragedy. Stories of how the paparazzi chased her, invading every inch of her private life, filled headlines worldwide. These reports painted a picture of a woman who, despite her immense charitable efforts, was often reduced to sensational headlines and tabloid fodder. The tragic car crash that claimed her life, partly blamed on reckless paparazzi pursuit, highlighted how the quest for a story could overshadow the dignity of a person. The event resonated deeply with the future Pope, leaving him troubled by the lack of respect shown for her humanity in her final moments. Even within the Vatican, whispers of her untimely death lingered. It was not just about the crash itself, but the culture of intrusion that had enveloped her life and death. For Pope Francis, her story became a cautionary tale about the destructive power of fame and the human cost of public adoration. Her philanthropic work, her efforts to bring attention to AIDS, landmine victims, and the marginalized, was often overshadowed by the glare of camera flashes. The future Pope saw this as a profound injustice, one that highlighted society's misplaced priorities. The media's role in her demise stirred something deeper in Pope Francis. It wasn't just about the reckless chase that ended in tragedy, but about how public figures are stripped of their privacy and humanity. Her life, marked by compassion and vulnerability, was constantly distorted by sensationalism. This reality troubled Francis, as it clashed with his belief in protecting the dignity and worth of every individual. The relentless pursuit of her personal life became a symbol of what happens when compassion is overshadowed by spectacle. As Pope, Francis often reflects on her life and death, using it as a teaching moment. He speaks against the culture of fame that prioritizes image over substance. In private conversations, he reportedly references her as an example of how acts of kindness and genuine care can be eclipsed by invasive reporting. Her story serves as a warning about the dangers of valuing spectacle over sincerity. The Pope's message is clear. True compassion should never be buried under the weight of gossip and public obsession. The Vatican's corridors, steeped in history and tradition, have also been touched by the ripples of her tragic story. Rumors of confidential investigations and hushed conversations about the circumstances of her death have persisted over the years. While no concrete evidence suggests direct Vatican involvement, there's speculation that certain high-ranking officials quietly examined the event, disturbed by how a life dedicated to helping others could end so abruptly. For Pope Francis, these whispers are less about uncovering hidden truths and more about understanding the broader implications of her life and death. Pope Francis's reflections on her are not rooted in conspiracy theories, but in a genuine concern for the way society treats its most visible members. He has expressed dismay at how little regard was shown for her personal space and well-being, both in life and death. This dismay has influenced his approach to leadership, emphasizing a more person-centered faith that prioritizes empathy and respect over rigid customs and titles. He calls on the Church to honor the dignity of every individual, especially those in distress, drawing from the lessons he believes her life and death taught the world. The infamous Paris underpass where her life ended has become a symbol of unresolved questions and lingering speculation. Conspiracy theories about a strange white Fiat, unexplained alcohol levels in the driver's system, and alleged cover-ups have kept the tragedy alive in public discourse. While Pope Francis doesn't indulge in these theories, he's deeply unsettled by the broader narrative of intrusion and disrespect that surrounds her story. Her death is a reminder of the heavy price of fame and the need for society to rethink its obsession with public figures. Diana's kindness inspired Pope Francis, but her struggles with the media and public life showed him the harsh side of being in the spotlight. A life of love in a world of fame. In his quiet moments, Pope Francis is said to reflect on the relentless nature of media coverage and its impact on individuals like her. He's used her story to caution against the perils of a fame-driven culture, urging bishops and priests to reject the lure of celebrity and focus instead on genuine acts of kindness. For the Pope, her life is a testament to the importance of compassion, and her death is a stark reminder of the consequences of ignoring that compassion in favor of spectacle. The lessons Pope Francis draws from her story go beyond her personal tragedy. He sees her life as a call to action for the Church and the world. Her commitment to helping the marginalized and the sick aligns with the Pope's vision of a faith driven by empathy and service. By highlighting her charitable work, Francis hopes to inspire others to prioritize love and kindness over fame and recognition. He believes that the Church has a responsibility to model this behavior, setting an example for a world often consumed by superficial concerns. As Pope, Francis has sought to balance the Church's traditions with a more human approach to leadership. Her story has played a role in shaping this vision. Her life and death serve as a reminder of the importance of compassion and the dangers of losing sight of humanity in the pursuit of success or notoriety. The Pope's emphasis on empathy and person-centered faith reflects his belief that the Church must evolve to meet the needs of a world marked by loss and heartbreak. While Pope Francis has never officially commented on her death, his actions and words suggest a deep respect for her legacy. He's encouraged the faithful to focus on acts of kindness and to resist the temptation to judge others based on public perception. Her life, marked by her commitment to helping others, is a powerful example of the kind of compassion the Pope hopes to cultivate within the Church and beyond. Her death, a tragic consequence of a fame-driven culture, is a cautionary tale that continues to inform his approach to leadership. The Pope's reflections on her story highlight the broader challenges faced by public figures in a media-driven world. He's spoken about the importance of preserving one's authenticity and resisting the pressures of public scrutiny. For Francis, her life is a reminder of the power of compassion and the need to protect the dignity of every individual. Her death underscores the dangers of a culture that values spectacle over substance, a lesson that the Pope hopes will inspire change within the Church and the world at large. In the years since her death, Pope Francis has continued to champion the values she embodied. He's called on the Church to focus on the needs of the marginalized, to prioritize love over judgment, and to honor the dignity of every person. Her story serves as a reminder of the transformative power of compassion and the importance of standing up against the forces that seek to diminish it. For the Pope, her life and death are not just moments in history, but lessons for a world in need of greater empathy and understanding. Her commitment to helping others was unparalleled. She wasn't just a royal figure, she became a symbol of compassion, touching lives far beyond the glitz and glamour of Buckingham Palace. Visiting hospitals, holding hands with HIV patients when stigma was at its peak, and speaking out against landmines showed her genuine care for humanity. Pope Francis, known for his focus on the marginalized, found inspiration in her actions. To him, her work was a reminder of the Church's duty to embody kindness and stand with the forgotten. Her ability to connect with those in pain mirrored the very essence of what the Pope believes faith should be about. As Francis rose through the ranks of the Church, he carried a sense of heartbreak over how often compassion is overshadowed by judgment. Her public struggles with the media and her personal battles highlighted a world that can be both unforgiving and relentless. For the Pope, her experience served as a cautionary tale, a reminder that fame and power don't shield individuals from suffering. He often speaks about embracing those who feel abandoned, a value he sees deeply reflected in her life. Her legacy of empathy became a cornerstone for his teachings, influencing his approach to leadership. As Pope, Francis followed Diana's example of kindness and helping others, the princess who touched the Pope's heart. When Pope Francis became the head of the Catholic Church, he emphasized openness and warmth over rigid formality. Diana's example of bridging gaps in society resonated deeply with him. Whether advocating for refugees, addressing prison reform, or encouraging kindness to strangers, Francis's actions echo the same values Diana championed. Behind his public addresses and charitable initiatives lies a subtle but profound acknowledgement of her influence. To him, Diana wasn't just a princess, she was a beacon of hope, proof that compassion could thrive even in the most unlikely circumstances. The intrigue surrounding Diana's tragic death only deepened her legacy. The circumstances of her accident in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel have been the subject of endless speculation. Reports of a strange white Fiat Uno, questionable evidence handling, and Diana's own warnings about a staged accident have fueled conspiracy theories for decades. While Pope Francis doesn't indulge in these theories, he's expressed a quiet curiosity about the unanswered questions surrounding her death. Privately, he has explored Vatican resources for insights into the event, not to chase rumors, but to seek truth and understanding. The Pope's interest in Diana's final moments underscores a broader concern. He's been vocal about the dangers of powerful institutions manipulating narratives to protect their interests. The strange details tied to her crash, from the disappearance of key evidence to whispers of intelligence involvement, highlight a moral issue that resonates deeply with Francis. For him, transparency and accountability are not just political necessities, but moral imperatives. The unresolved nature of Diana's death serves as a poignant example of why truth matters. Francis's candid approach has not been without controversy. His willingness to address uncomfortable topics, including Diana's death, has sparked speculation about tensions between the Vatican and the British royal family. Rumors suggest that his interest in Diana's story may have unsettled some within the monarchy. While the Pope's reflections are rooted in compassion, palace insiders reportedly worry that revisiting these events could reignite conspiracy theories they've worked hard to quell. This quiet friction highlights the delicate balance between honoring a legacy and stirring up old wounds. The Pope's progressive views have also drawn criticism from traditionalists, both within and outside the Church. His outspoken stance on social issues, from refugee rights to environmental protection, has sometimes clashed with the monarchy's preference for measured diplomacy. Moments of cultural misstep, such as minor breaches of royal protocol, have further widened the gap. Despite these challenges, Francis remains steadfast in his commitment to empathy and truth, even if it means navigating tense relationships with powerful institutions. At the heart of Francis's reflections on Diana is a profound respect for her humanity. He sees her as more than a victim of media frenzy or palace politics. To him, Diana represents the potential for individuals to transcend their circumstances and make a lasting impact. Her humanitarian work, her struggles, and her resilience are lessons that resonate far beyond her time. By channeling her memory into his teachings, the Pope continues to champion the values she held dear. Diana's story, as interpreted by Pope Francis, is not just about tragedy, but about the enduring power of kindness. Her life serves as a reminder that even in a world dominated by power and privilege, empathy can shine through. For Francis, the unanswered questions surrounding her death are not just a call for truth, but an opportunity to reflect on the broader issues of justice and compassion. In his view, honoring Diana's legacy means carrying forward her commitment to helping others and standing with the marginalized. Decades after her passing, Princess Diana's legacy continues to inspire. Pope Francis's reflections on her life and work remind us of the enduring importance of empathy in a world often marked by division and indifference. By drawing on her example, the Pope challenges us to look beyond ourselves and embrace the values of kindness and understanding. Whether through addressing global issues or simply connecting with those in need, Diana's spirit lives on in those who dare to make a difference. In the end, her story is not just a royal tale, but a universal call to action, urging us to stand by each other in the face of life's challenges. Could Pope Francis's revelations about Diana expose a deeper truth? Or are they simply adding to the endless speculation surrounding her death? Share your thoughts and remember to like and subscribe for more.